Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megha Narang, and in today's video I am going to show you how we can create Sunburst chart in Tableau. In this video I am going to show you how to create Sunburst using two different methods. One is by using dual axis and pie chart, and the second method is by using map layers. Map layers is a feature that has been introduced in Tableau some time back. Whereas dual axis is through which we can create toner charts in Tableau. So here the data that I have used is sample superstore data, and we are analyzing sales by category and subcategory for in both the visuals. And in our tutorial also we are going to replicate these two visuals, and let's begin. So here I have opened a new Tableau workbook, and now I am going to connect this workbook to sample superstore data that we have in Tableau. Once the data is connected, we'll see that we have we'll make sure that we have all the information that we need. So we do have category, we have subcategory, and let's say we have sales. Yes. Now first, in the marks card, we will convert this marks card to pie, and then move category in color and sales in angle. And in rows I will add a calculation minimum 0. Again I will replicate the same calculation in rows shelf. Now here you can see that two pie charts are showcasing the same information, that is sales by category. Now in order to convert one of them into sales by subcategory and one to keep one as sales by category, we will have to make adjustments in the marks card. Here on top, so the bottom one we will keep as is, but on the top one, this view, we are going to make some changes. So here that is min 0, aggregate min 0, that is the first layer. I already have category and sales. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drag subcategory into detail. Why have I dragged subcategory into detail? So that I can get the secondary color palette. Now let me go here and convert this into color. That ways the color palette that has been used on the top by category would be followed by the color palette in subcategory as well. There's just a few one slight change in the color that we see, that is for technology. Let's just change that, and now we have the same color palette that has been followed in category and subcategory. Now let's just adjust the size of them a little bit. And convert the size into entire view. Now we have subcategory and category, and both of them have sales information in their respective pies. To create a sunburst chart, we will have to put them on top of each other. Before we put them on top of each other, we will have to make few adjustments with the size. So let's say I need subcategory as my top layer, so let's just adjust the size of our category a little bit. And now on the rows shelf, let's just right click and convert it into dual axis. You would see again the category has been covered, subcategory has been covered by category, so we will just decrease the size a little bit, and that's here we can see both subcategory as well as category. Now we'll just make some more adjustments with the size and see if we can have a bigger visual. And we will have some colors added to it. Now we do have a category inside as an inside layer and subcategories as an outside layer. If you want, you can now do a little bit of formatting, and let's just remove all the lines. We would not need them. You can see that a Sunburst chart is starting to get into shape, and now it's just a matter of adding few more information. So here, if you want to have a little bit of different color theme so that it doesn't completely match with the category, let's just pick another color palette. These are all formatting changes. If you need, you can make those changes. If you don't need, you can completely avoid them. The next step would be to sort these values so that the information is much more clearer. So we will pick category, select sort by field, sales, ascending or descending, that's up to you, whatever you want. And here we can see all these values in numbers. If you want the values in percentages, we can do that as well. So first let's pick the category, and here let's just drag sales in detail, convert it into quick table calculation, percent of total, and then drag it to labels. Just let's format it, and percentage, we wouldn't need 2 decimal places, 1 should be enough. So let's drag category also to labels, and again let's just make a few more adjustments. Totally up to you if you want. You can drag these inside the circle or pie. So now your donut chart is ready. You have your category, your sales by category, and your sales by subcategory. If you want the percentages of subcategory, the similar method you can use here as well. We will drag sales on details shelf, and then quick table calculation, percent of total. Here we would be needing it by subcategory, and then let's just put it on labels. Here you can see that 39.5% of sales comes from phones in technology. Again, you can just make changes in your tooltips, keep it meaningful. I'm going to add method 1 here. And that's how you create sunburst chart using pie charts in Tableau. Let's rename this sheet. Now let's move to the second method, that is creating sunburst chart using map layers. So the view that you see here, we are going to replicate the similar view using map layers, and the data source is going to remain the same, that is sample superstore data. Now without further ado, let's switch back to our sheets. Here I will add a new sheet, and now we will start with the process of creating a sunburst chart using map layers. For us to do that, we will have to first create a calculated field, and we will be using the function make point and add 0 and 0 to get the latitude and longitude. Let's rename it as position and double click on this calculation. You see that we have got a dot here. So the very first step that we need to take is convert this marks into from map to pie. Then we will again go to category, similar process, add category in color and sales in angle, and then we are going to again pick our position calculation and drag it and add it to map layer. You can see here we have two positions or two layers in our marks card called as position and position 2. So what we are going to do is we are going to call it as position as category, so as to avoid any confusion, and the other layer 2 as subcategory. Once we are done with that, let's move subcategory below category, drag it, and that's how you move your layers in map layers, and again convert this into pie like we did earlier. Once we convert it into pie, we will first drag category like we did in our previous method, and to colors, and sales to angle. Because we need subcategory here, I will now pick subcategory and drag it to detail, again similar to what we did in our previous method, and add a secondary color palette here. We can see that the secondary color palette has followed the primary color palette, which is good. Now let's just increase the size of these a little bit. Here you can see we have category inside and subcategory inside, outside as an outer layer, and we are starting to see our sunburst chart. When we use the method map layer, we have a little bit more flexibility to add different various other layers which we do not have while we create a sunburst chart using dual axis. So let's say if I want to add like an inner ring here between category and subcategory, I can do that. Let's just create a calculation field, and let me call it, name it as empty. Now again I will add this as a I'll drag position to map layer, Now I see that one more layer has been added into my marks card. Let me rename it as outer ring, and I have created this empty calculation. Let me drag it to colors, change the color to white. Now you see there is a small circle that has been added here. We would be doing that as well, but let's first have an outer ring that we need for category as well as between category and subcategory. To do that, I will be moving this outer ring layer between category and subcategory. Let me drag this outer ring layer and place it in between category and subcategory. Now again I have to see to the size and see where does it land. Sorry, it first needs to be converted it into circle. Okay, we're there. Now we do have a ring between our category and subcategory. Now the next step, we can also add an inner circle wherein we can add the overall sales that we have in our Sunburst chart, including both category and subcategory. To do that, we would be following the same step that we followed to create this outer ring. Now again I'll go and pick my position layer, calculation, and add it to map layer, and then I will rename it as inner circle, change it to circle, bring my empty calculation into colors, again edit colors, and I think it's already white. Yes, it is. And then I'll just increase the size a bit. Okay, let's just have to adjust the size here. Now the next step for us, because we see that this Sunburst chart, the size of this might not be enough. To increase the size of the Sunburst chart, what we have to do is we have to press Ctrl, Shift and B, and for Mac users it should be Command Shift plus B. So we'll just keep increasing the size and see where do we want to stop. I think this should be good enough. Now we have our Sunburst chart with us. We don't want the map in the background, so we'll go to map, background maps, and select none. And we'll do again a little bit of formatting because we do not need all these lines in the background. Totally up to you if you want it. If you don't want it, I would recommend strongly not to have these lines or any extra thing in the background which you do not need, to keep your visual clean. So we have all the layers that we need. Now we need to add the information that we need. So in the inner circle, we do not want this hover to show us this empty, whereas we want our inner circle to show overall sales. So what we will do is we will have sales and drag it to labels in our inner circle. Once we do that, we'll see this null, and we'll click on this and select show data at default position. We do see that our sales has appeared. Now we just need to again make a few adjustments and formatting, and let's move our sales here in the center. Okay, we can see our sales in the center. Now we do have category and sales number. We have subcategory and their sales number, like we did in method 1. If we want percentages of these categories and subcategories, we can do that as well. We can do the sorting as well for subcategory. If you want to sort, just right click and sort it by field. And then you have it, your subcategory sorted. Now if you want percentage, let's first start with percentages in category. So sales percentage, so again drag sales to detail, right click, quick table calculation and percentage of total, and then we will drag this calculation to labels. We will format it because we do not want 3 decimal places, so let's just keep it to 1. And if we want to see category as well, drag category on labels on the category layer, format it. But you see here, let's say I want my technology to appear here. We'll just drag it manually and try and adjust them wherever we think it fits well. We'll keep it there. Let's just decrease the size of our inner circle a little bit so that our subcategories and categories fits well. We'll keep it to 20. Again, if I want to see sales by subcategory, I will go to subcategory, sales, drag it to detail, and then right click, quick table calculation, percent of total. If I want to see subcategory percentage based on category, I'll just say compute using subcategories, and then it would show that 39.5% of sales comes from phones in technology category. Now we just need to clean up our tooltip a little bit. Totally optional, but recommended. Now we have in our inner circle sales by category and also the percentage, and in our outer circle we have sales by subcategory with respect to category. Also I see this empty here in my inner circle, in my outer ring, so I will just remove that. We do not need that. So let's just rename the title as well. I'm going to rename it as method 2. So, and we're just going to rename our sheet as well. Let's call it method 2. So here we have seen today how we create Sunburst chart in Tableau using 2 different methods, that is using dual axis and pie chart, and the other is by using map layers and pie chart. Please let me know in your comments below if you have any questions or any other suggestions. And if you like this video and you want me to continue to make these videos, please do subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later. Thank you.